Welcome back to the news at 10. The people of Ogiso community in Ikpobaoka local government area of Edo State have been experiencing flooding for over 20 years. Recently, the state government awarded a contract to refurbish a major road near the community, which the residents believe has the possibility of increasing the flood in Ogiso community, necessitating an appeal by the residents to the relevant authorities for intervention. Our special report tonight takes a look at the plight of the community these past years.
Decay, abandoned houses, silted drains, refuse carried by water from miles away, and the chirpings of birds are images and the sound that greets a first-time visitor to Ogiso community, hemmed in between Oedo and Ikpobaoka local government areas. With some sense of history, this elderly member of the community attempts an explanation of how the people got into this quagmire.
When they constructed the drainage from Arosa, Wa Street, and then terminated at Ogiso. But that drainage was functional that time. But as it is now, I think something has happened. So all the water from Arosa now, second is circular, third is circular, are now channeled to Ogiso community. That's the cause of the problem.
Evidence abounds to show that the Ogiso community was once a thriving business enclave where the Bata company proudly stood. But all that is now in the past, as the facility is now abandoned with weeds competing for space. Very close to the abandoned company, several houses have been taken over by water, forming pools where aquatic life thrives, and residents needing makeshift bridges to get to their homes at the peak of the dry season.
You can see my street now, there's no road. Bike can't pass here, motor can't pass here for many years now. For 7 years, we can't pass this road. You can see, we only load plank on this place now so that we can pass through here. There are houses inside here now, but there's no road to enter there.
Even at times, when rain comes, all those places will be full of water. Will not be able to penetrate. It's just somebody that helps us to do this thing now. He even remove all the things, the pavement, the first pavement. We just newly did this one. If you look at the corner there, you see that is water.
But these residents fear that the worst is yet to come, following the decision of the state government to commence the reconstruction of 2nd East Circular Road, and they're calling for urgent intervention.
So before, people sleep in this community with their eyes closed peacefully until various streets, Virginia, Agmoba, even MTN, across the other environment, from first, second, third, they start channeling the water to this place. So we are fed up. What we are saying, both the federal, the states, the local government, and also where that is concerned, they should come speedily and be able to put modalities in place. We are not happy.
So recently now, they are now drilling second now, bringing more water, more pressure of water to Ogiso community now. So we are using this medium now to beg our comrade governor that he should come for our aid, because the landlords and landladies that stay in this area, many of them have become tenants.
Help may not be long in coming here, as the Edo State Commissioner for Environment admits that the state is aware of the problem.
We are taking on Ogiso as our next priority, facing the next priority sites, where we are looking at 10 other different gully erosion that we need to deal with. Now that we have started with Auchi, Quinede, and also the Kenwa Gully erosion site. Consultant has already been hired through the World Bank Newmap project for designing of sites. That is the first step, and they're already visiting these sites. They're already doing their surveys, getting the necessary data. That is a prelude for the design itself.
Good as this promise may sound, the residents of Ogiso community want the government to match words with action and bring respite to them as soon as possible before they are driven out of the place by erosion and flood.
Gene Odiete and Nasir Yamama receiving checks of 1.5 million naira each for emerging winners of the Enterprise Challenge, a British Council online competition. The two beat 8 other finalists in Nigeria and in the United Kingdom, having shown outstanding entrepreneurial skills. The competition, organized by the British Council in collaboration with Zenith Bank and Virgin Atlantic, hopes to identify creative, young and brilliant entrepreneurial minds in order to avail them the opportunity to develop their skills for Nigeria. The winners have had the opportunity to meet one of the UK's foremost businessman and chairman of Virgin Group, Sir Richard Branson, for mentoring, and they've also gone through a 5-day entrepreneurship foundation course. Our British High Commissioner, Mr. Andrew Pocock, believes the platform is an opportunity to help young Nigerians achieve their dreams in a competitive world.
Opportunity. One of the things about Nigeria, there's very many qualified people of enormous potential. What isn't always there is opportunity for them to use it. So here was a chance to give young people a real opportunity to not only show us their skills, but to help finance a bit of it. Zenith Bank has been very generous in providing some funding, which will go to grow their businesses. So not only is it a chance to help young people, it's a perfect business model. It's how you grow a business and turn it into something profitable and sustainable. So it's win-win all around, I think. But what I said to them is, keep going. Don't lose your passion, don't lose your vision. And what's more, use some of that, some of the high standards that they insist on for themselves, use it to help the country. Use it to say to political leaders and business leaders, look, we the youth of Nigeria are working very hard and very creatively. We want our governors, our politicians to do the same for us. So I think there's a very helpful message here for all the generations in this country.
British High Commissioner Andrew Pocock. Farmers in Kwara State no longer have to worry about getting buyers for their own produce. That's because the state government has decided to intervene by improving their production capacity while availing them a ready market. The initiative is called Off-Taker Demand-Driven Agricultural Program.
It's one thing to give a farmer millions of naira in loans, but to get him a ready buyer, that is heaven. This was the sort of enabling environment that the Kwara State government created for the farmers in the state when he met them in 2014. 172 farmers benefited from a 250 million naira loan scheme, and all each had to do was belong to a cooperative society. With that arrangement, the Kwara State agricultural sector received the much-needed boost.
Our aim is to extend agribusiness to other parts of the state by empowering a new generation of commercial farmers to ensure our people are food secure while establishing agribusiness as the backbone of our economy and regenerate agro-allied industrial development.
4 main crops, rice, cassava, maize and soybeans, thrive in Kwara State due to agroecological factors. And these are the only crops the farmers have to focus on while the government takes care of the buyer's market.
This program we're now doing is to source for the market before farmers even start to go into agricultural business. We have taken into cognizance the nature of the soil we have in Kwara State.
The size of what I was working on, will I say, is quadrupled. That is 4 times. I was operating on about 4 or 5 hectares. But last year, I made 50 hectares.
It is hoped that Kwara and indeed Nigeria will remain food secure if farmer-friendly programs like these are sustained.
The Delta State Governor Emmanuel Odwahan has sworn in new commissioners in the state capital, Asaba. The new commissioners, Mr. Anthony Obu, former Permanent Secretary, Government House, Asaba, and Mr. Charles Emetulu, former Commissioner for Power and Energy, took the oath of office alongside the Permanent Secretary of the State Post-Primary Education Board, Mrs. Emotakare Ikoho.
We are nearing the end of our second term in office, but we still have before us many urgent challenges arising from our committed pursuit of legacy projects in the state. And we need not be derailed in our resolve to delivering the dividends of democracy to Deltans. It is therefore necessary that we face all these challenges with the support and expertise of our best, not just best, but also devoted and loyal citizens who fully represent the aspirations and support of our major stakeholders. I therefore expect that the two new commissioners and the permanent secretary will give their best to the entire state.
Delta State's Governor Emmanuel Odwahan. Now, since its introduction in 2012 in Delta State as a substitute for the popularly known motorcycle, Okada, the tricycle, better known as Keke Napep, has recorded some success in easing the burden of commuting in the state. But in recent times, the community appears to be singing a different tune, with many calling for its eradication. And that's because many of its operators are accused of robbing and kidnapping passengers, with reckless driving also mentioned. Our community report tonight looks at the accusations leveled against the tricycle operators and how the state government is addressing the matter.
Etisala, now you're talking.
The introduction of the tricycle to support the transport sector in the south-south state of Delta was welcomed by all. And this translated into a more convenient mode of moving around and also increased the economic fortunes of the operators. But for some time now, this joyful relationship has fast turned sour, and the blame for this change can be traced to security and recklessness. The first case against the system is that robbers and kidnappers employ the tricycle, known in local parlance as keke, to lure unsuspecting passengers. Halfway into the journey, the criminals then make their intentions known by stripping them of their belongings or holding them hostage, with a ransom placed in exchange for their safe return. On the other case, motorists and others who have had one run-in or another with the keke operators narrate their ordeal.
It's not always easy to access the road. They don't know their left to their right. They don't even know the traffic rules. Most of the people that are driving Keke Napep are the former Okada riders in this town. And if you see what they are doing, if you see just the back of my car, the bumper there, the damage is just last week. The other day in front of Obogonogo market, a similar thing happened. And this is a set of people, when they come down, you see them, they always have a group, they have a kind of union. Once they see one person shouting on a motor driver, you see other persons, they will come around and they will start harassing you. So somehow they are a very big problem. They are constituting nuisance in this state.
They have caused a lot of havoc on the streets. So what I'm trying to tell the people or the government is that they should try and limit the numbers of keke on the road. Because if you go to Obogonogo in Asaba here, you can't see a way to pass. It's all over keke everywhere.
The government can try to stop them. It will be the better. They should arrange them to the street. They should be running the street because they are driving over here. They are disturbing, not even taxi. They are disturbing the private vehicle.
But in every basket of apples, some are bound to be rotten. And as this operator explains, the bulk of the blame should not be placed on the union's doorstep alone.
You may see a driver, when you're trying to overtake him, maybe he's slowing down. By that point that you want to overtake him, you now zoom up again without washing his mirror. At the end of the day, you continue to blame the keke person. And if anything happens on the way, even when the keke driver is right, I will come and blame the keke driver. So we don't know when we are doing right and when we are doing wrong. That's why everybody is clamoring on the keke drivers. If not, we are good. Because some certain places where we know that are bad. So we are not bad in every aspect.
The umpire in this matter is the state. And the advice from the Commissioner for Transport is for all to remain vigilant.
I think our people are not careful enough because they are about 95% of the tricycle in Delta State are coded. You just have to look out for the number. If you get the number, the body number of it, we can trace the person, we can give it to security agencies. And so people should actually watch out for that special code that we are giving to them. But saying that we should remove them from the road, I don't think that is right now. There's unemployment crying everywhere. People all over the world are talking about job creation, and the little way that people can actually create job, we don't want to discourage them. We'll only plead and appeal to them that they should, within the union, within the members of the riders, they should look out for the genuine riders and those that are criminals.
Whatever gave rise to the emergence of the Keke Napep in Delta State is prolonging its stay in the community. But the question is, for how long will the victims of crime continue to wait before taking the law into their hands?
Etisola, now you're talking.
Still ahead of the news at 10, police in Copenhagen kill a man believed to be behind 2 deadly attacks in the Danish capital. That's coming up in a moment. Please join us again.